Welcome to Business World. I'm your host Siddharth, and in today's edition of BW Hotwires, we are talking to Mr. Tarun Garg, Director, Sales, Service and Marketing for Hyundai India. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Siddharth.
So let's start this conversation with the current hot topic, COVID. So tell us, how has COVID impacted Hyundai India's business operations?
I think it's an unprecedented event, and frankly, everybody was taken by surprise, from a feeling of disbelief to a sudden lockdown. I think we have come a long way, and now we can very clearly see that it's a part of our life, and probably we have to live with it. So as far as Hyundai is concerned, I think COVID also brought in, sometimes so many changes, which some of them are very, very good. Like for example, we realized that our team is so good and so adaptable and so flexible, and even in these challenging circumstances, team was able to really deliver the goods and show so much of responsibility, because most of them are working from home, so there was no supervision. But I think that was the most important thing. Production and supply chain, again, kudos to them. The kind of flexibility which was shown, the innovations which were shown, and I think I'm very proud to say that Hyundai Motor India was one of the first companies off the block as far as production is concerned. And in fact, I remember when on the first day when we produced 200 vehicles, it was such a great moment, and everybody was kind of congratulating each other. So that was the second part of it. Our dealers, again, I think so much of resilience, in these times to really sell, adapt again to the new normal. Our new business team, which launched such a great product called Click to Buy, which is a end-to-end car buying experience for the customer, online car buying experience, which was a very big help to us in these times. Our marketing team, which launched some very, very innovative events like the Next Dimension. You would have seen that we were able to launch the Verna, the Tucson, and of course share the story of Creta, the ultimate SUV, through this event. And I'm happy to report that already this event has seen views. Then the corporate film, again, of course our brand ambassador was a part of it. Again, very much appreciated. Our corporate social responsibility team, I think, again, which did a great job during these times to work with the communities, whether it was the medical kits, testing kits imported from Korea, or whether it was the contribution to the PM Relief Fund or Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Relief Fund, or so many other, working with the governments to really see how we could provide them with the masks, sanitizers, PPE kits, etc. So I think all in all, for everybody, this was a time when everybody grew up. We realized our potential, and we can look back at great learnings with a lot of pride and satisfaction.
Is it like post-COVID, or should I say post-lockdown, is it safe to assume that people are gravitating to personal vehicles? Personal mobility is getting a kickstart, and shared mobility is taking a backseat. If that's the case, would you reduce your focus on SUVs, because that's more for weekend getaways, and more towards cars like Santro and all? If you are saying more on small cars, do we see Eon being relaunched, or an Eon kind of vehicle being relaunched?
Personal mobility, yes. I think very clearly customers are looking for safe mobility, and also because public transport like metro, rail and all have not started in many places, so very clearly attraction towards personal mobility is there. At the same time, let me tell you, this is not limited to entry-level cars. Yes, entry-level cars are seeing attraction, and we are seeing a very good traction for our Nios, Aura, Santro brand. At the same time, you'll be surprised to know that our SUVs are gaining even much more traction than even the entry-level cars. And our Creta continues to do very well. We have already received more than 55,000 bookings on the Creta. The Venue continues to do very well. In fact, just to share with you, SUVs in the last calendar year used to contribute 34% to Hyundai sales. All SUVs put together. Now they are contributing 45 to 50% to Hyundai sales. So actually, this is, some people may feel that, it is only the entry-level customers which are coming. But as long as a brand is strong, as long as you are able to provide the customer with a lot of options in terms of a powertrain, diesel, petrol, turbo, so many features, a great brand like Creta, a great product. I think the customers are there to buy, and very clearly we can see that. In fact, Creta has been in the top 5 models continuously for the last 3 months. Always an SUV. In fact, in May it was the number 1 selling car amongst all cars put together. So my point is that if your brand is strong, customers will come. And India car, in addition to being a necessary product, is also an aspirational product. And SUVs have been seeing a very good traction over the past 5 years. And very clearly, even after this Corona situation, SUVs continue to be the flavor of the day, definitely for Hyundai.
So as I asked at the end, so any plans to bring relaunch Eon? Because Eon was the only formidable competitor for Alto, and because people are now upgrading from two-wheelers to cars, if I'm not wrong. And Eon was very competitively priced. Or you think BS6 will make it commercially infeasible?
As far as new products is concerned, yes, we will continue to launch new products, as and when the market demands. And I think we have a very robust product map. So rest assured, like I told you, last 18 months, 9 products. I think we're doing reasonably well, 8 to 9 products, reasonably well. So I think let's have to keep on demanding from Hyundai, and we will keep on delivering not only products but new technologies and new powertrains, and so that we can give the empowerment to it.
Are you seeing a downwards demand trend? Somebody buying a Creta, buying a Venue, somebody buying a Venue, probably going on to a i20.
As far as Hyundai is concerned, we are seeing a good traction across segments. So while yes, you are right that there is some kind of a distress, economic distress, and there are so many industries which are going through such tough times. At the same time, please understand, calendar year 19 also, it was not such a good year for the auto industry. There were so many customers who were waiting for BS6 norms to kick in, and BS6 norms kicked in on 1st of April. Of course, that was lockdown. So I think we are also seeing a lot of pent-up demand which is coming. That is point number 1. Point number 2 is that, like I said, still there is, while India is, if you see a pyramid, I think there are so many customers. While yes, income levels of some customers may be reducing, or some people maybe they would have unfortunately lost their jobs. At the same time, also we understand that customers do not have too many options to spend now. Customers used to spend on international travel, domestic travel, hotels, restaurants, pubs, clothes. I think people are wanting to spend, and what better way to spend than buying cars, especially new models with new features, because they still need mobility. And so I think we are not complaining, and so this is where it is. At the same time, we have to be cautious, because we are still far away from normalcy. Number 2, corona cases continue to increase. Number 3, lockdowns in states. Some states keep on happening, which means we still have to be cautious and see how it happens. But I can only say the recovery so far has been reasonably good.
Now, sir, my question is, you have a product in the compact segment, you have a product in the mid SUV segment, you have a product as Tucson, but is there any more products coming in the larger SUV segment? Can we see a Palisade? Can we see a Santa Fe, recoming of the Santa Fe?
We are always assessing the market and looking at what are the opportunities available. We talked about Venue. So Venue was launched last year, but I'm sure the work on the Venue would have started maybe 4 years back, 5 years back, and a product takes so much time to come. So we're always looking at new opportunities in the market, and as and when we feel that okay, there is an opportunity for any product, and we go ahead and launch it. So this is how the product planning works, and we will continue to do it. But on future products, I will not like to comment that what are the products in consideration.
So now IMT technology. Hyundai launched IMT transmission with the Venue, and it has got a lot of traction. There is a lot of people talking about IMT, how does it work, etc., etc. There's a lot of people who are interested in it. So do you think this transmission, the IMT, will go on to other vehicles of Hyundai as well?
So, like I mentioned before, that we have always believed that we wanted to really empower the customers to see what is the convenience, how much convenience we can give you. And sometimes you have to look at both the latent needs also, not only the spoken need of the customer. So we see that while Hyundai has so many automatics and the penetration is very good, but so many customers still buy the manual because of two reasons. One is, of course, the price of the automatics, sometimes goes beyond the range. That is one part of it. The second part of it is so many customers want to have that thrill of changing the gears, but they don't want the pedal, they don't want the clutch. So because in the traffic, it's too much cumbersome to really use the clutch, and the foot starts aching. So I think this is something very innovative which is brought in by Hyundai and on the venue. And we have just started dispatching the vehicles to the dealer. The vehicles have reached. I was just looking at some of the customer reviews yesterday, and I think they are very positive. Customers are really loving the driving experience. They are saying there are no lags, and it's wonderful, and it should do very well. So we are just gauging the response, and in case we find that the customers like it and the response is good, then why not? Definitely, we will be considering launching it in other models as well.
People are seeing the companies are seeing a lot of traction in non-metro cities because the containment zones are less over there, and B, over there the digital sales have not picked up. Over there, it's more about brick and mortar sales. So, keeping those factors in mind, are you witnessing an unprecedented growth in tier 2 and tier 3 cities vis-a-vis tier 1 cities, or is it your tier 1 cities are still giving you the maximum numbers? What is the current trend now?
Yes, we are seeing a much higher growth in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. The good part is, of course, the whole of India is growing, but tier 2 and tier 3 definitely is better than tier 1. Part reason is, of course, the prevalence of corona is much less. But I don't say that digital is any reason for no digital or physical, like you said. On the contrary, I would say that what digital has done is that it has reduced the difference between rural and urban reach, because now through the digital media we can actually reach the rural markets. But why rural is growing is also because of the good agriculture. I think the crop sowing as well as the produce has been very good. The minimum support price is very high, so farmers are able to get a good return for their investment. So we are getting a very good traction. It's not only about agriculture. I think all the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, especially if I see markets like Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, markets like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, definitely Himachal Pradesh are doing much better than the metro towns. So it is good for us.
So one of the key trends which is there in the Indian market is Atmanirbhar, which is self-reliance, which Hyundai is already doing big time. At the same time, people are shying away from Chinese products. I don't want to mention the brand name because don't be fair on my part. But your guess is good as mine. So I mean, do you gain an edge because yours is a South Korean brand, and India and South Korea had a very good relations since time immemorial? Or you think it's going to some sort of impact your operations because you're sourcing Chinese parts, some Chinese parts for your EVs and all, so like Kona and all. So if you can shed some light on that.
So let me first say that we have been now in India for 23 years. So HMI is as Indian as any other company, and we are very happy to be here. We started in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Humbly, I would say that we have made a contribution to not only the economy of Tamil Nadu, but in terms of our own humble contribution towards the economy of the country. We are the number 2 car manufacturer in India. We are the number 1 exporter of cars. So we have brought in that kind of foreign exchange. I'm very proud of the fact. In terms of Atmanirbhar, I think we are more or less localized, more than 90%, and especially dependence on China is very small. So we are not really affected by whatever you mentioned. Kona EV, 2019 we launched the Kona EV. Frankly, at that time, people were just barely talking about a full-fledged EV. And I think we are very proud to say that we were the first EV, full-fledged EV in a SUV segment, and it received some very good response. We continue to sell the EVs in reasonably good numbers. However, we feel that EVs are not only about numbers. EVs are more about the commitment towards cleaner mobility that that all OEMs owe to the Indian people. And so I think the BS6 petrol, BS6 diesel, BS6 CNG, BS6 turbo with EVs. I think going forward, we are all moving very strongly towards cleaner mobility, and Hyundai wants to really play a very important role. In fact, we also showcased hydrogen fuel cell technology in the Auto Expo. So I think our commitment towards cleaner mobility remains. Regarding the impact of competition players, I think we at Hyundai believe that as long as we have our own benchmarks and all our policies are centered around the customer, so as long as we are able to really bring in, those policies, those products, those technologies which are customer centric, which really help in increasing the convenience to the customers, I think then that is the most important thing. All the other things will take care of themselves. So we have our own benchmarks to follow, and we strongly, firmly, and most humbly try to really fulfill those benchmarks so that we are able to really be in the positive, side of the customers. I think that is the most important thing. Even in these COVID times, in our own humble way, we try to contribute to the society, and I think we got some very positive response from the customers of India. They know that HMI is a very, very strong brand. Hyundai is a very strong brand in India, and we are very, very proud to be as Indian as any other company. So I think you can say that global company with now deep roots in India and for the Indian people. I think that is how we like to see ourselves.
So now with BS6, we have spoken to a lot of OEMs, and we have also seen a lot of OEMs cut down on diesels because of lack of technology, because of higher costs. But Hyundai, on the other hand, has diesels in every category. Actually, Hyundai has petrol 80, diesel 80, 1 liter turbo. Hyundai has a whole gamut of products, even if we take one car. So what is your strategy going forward? Will you be continuing with diesels in all product categories, or will your focus be on, say, 1 liter petrol DCT, or maybe just petrol fuel as such?
Our strategy is very simple. We want to empower the customer. We believe that let the customer decide. So we are nobody to decide, okay, we have only this, so please buy only this. I think we have a BS6 petrol, we have a BS6 CNG, we have a BS6 diesel, we have a BS6 turbo, we have a DCT, we have an AT, we have an AMT, now we have an IMT. So I think Hyundai has always believed in empowering the customer, and that is what is contributes to higher market share. I think most humbly I would submit that 2019 we were able to increase our market share by 1%. And again in 2020, we have been able to increase our market share. So I think that is a testimony to customers' appreciation of all the technologies and all the new products that we have been bringing to Indian market.
So correct me if I'm wrong. You are the largest car exporter from India, right? Even more than Maruti. Now with coronavirus deglobalizing the whole global market, so is that a matter of concern for you? Because you have been exporting to, more than 50 markets. I don't know the number of markets that you're exporting to, but they are in multiples. At one point of time, you have also been exporting to Europe. So will you be increasingly deglobalizing your business when it comes to exports and only restricting yourself to component exports and all? Or will you continue with that, or will that be accelerated further? Just tell us something on that.
Look, everybody is trying to really adapt and be flexible because nobody knows how Corona is going to pan out. We are very proud that we have been the leading exporter of cars from India. And last year also we exported more than 170,000 vehicles. And so export markets continue be a priority for us as well. And we will see how the market responds, going forward. I'm just coming out of a meeting where even exports was saying that they also want vehicles, and domestic is also saying they also want vehicles. So I think right now it's a good situation where we are getting good orders from export markets also. So I think every country is trying to come back to the economic recovery path. So as long as people are trying to recover fast, I think demand will come back strongly. We have seen the demand coming back strongly in China. We have seen the demand coming back strongly in US. So I think demand is coming back strongly in most markets. And India, we have seen last month. I think when industry was almost July 20 was almost equal to July 19. So the recovery is happening everywhere. So we are very confident that going forward, even export markets will see good traction, and we will continue to be the leading exporter from India. There are no two ways about it. No way we are thinking about downsizing exports or anything like that. Not at all.
So, sir, now we are seeing the whole digital transformation of the whole Indian society, in fact, even globally. So, even we are working from home, we are focused on digital. So, going forward, sir, what is Hyundai India's marketing mix going to be?
Digital was always seeing a good traction. In fact, last couple of years, I think what has happened with the post-COVID times is the movement is heavily accelerated. So accordingly, we have also, changed the mix. At the same time, we believe that every medium plays a strong role. So you can't say that, TV or print or outdoor is out of the equation. Yes, the traction is definitely towards digital, and as a percentage, definitely more and more money will go into digital. But I think we believe very strongly that India being a vast country and every customer has different needs. So we will look at all options. And in fact, we have one company which is, you would have seen the Creta campaign on the television. Now there's a Varna campaign already on the television. Even on the print, you would have seen the new Tucson campaign. So we are using all medium. But yes, digital is definitely getting much more attention from us, and new innovative marketing strategies are coming out, not only in terms of communicating with the customers for promoting, but also in terms of, like I said, activities like the Next Dimension, which I think was really was a matter of great pride for Hyundai as a company, and very, very efficient way and very, very brand enhancing way of communicating with the customer.
So the Indian auto industry is going through a sluggish demand period. There's a consumer sentiments are low. So what, as India's number 2 automaker, what do you think are the ways to generate more demand in this sector?
So I think this is a very relevant question, and like I said, the most important thing is new products and new technology. Because nothing excites the customers more than new products, and that is what we have been trying to do with the Creta, the Verna, the Tucson. Before that, the Aura. So 4 new products in in this calendar year 20, and 4 in calendar year 19. So that is the first part. The second part of it is, of course, in terms of financing, because 75 to 80% cars are financed. So what kind of flexible options you can give to the customer to really make it very convenient for them to buy. So Hyundai launched some 6 very flexible finance options where customers could start with a low EMI, and maybe it's a 5-year loan. Initial period he could give a low EMI, and then the EMI could increase in the corresponding years when his income level goes up, or maybe low down payment scheme where the financing part is very high, or maybe a 8-year scheme where the EMI is low right throughout, or a balloon scheme where 59 EMIs are low and the 60th EMI after 5 years is relatively higher. So the whole idea is how can you make it easier for the customer to buy. I think that is and last but not the least is the empathy with the customer. I think which is where Hyundai cares, and the overall service package which Hyundai as a company is able to provide. Like for example, on many of our products, we are now providing a wonder warranty. What is that wonder warranty? Basically, in India, otherwise warranty was taken as a standard thing, But we realized that many customers don't really drive the car for 100,000 kilometers, whereas so many of us were giving a warranty for 100,000 kilometers. So we said, why do we take a 2 or 3 year warranty for 100,000? Maybe you have an option of taking a warranty for 4 years or 5 years, where if your running is low, and 50% of the customers have chosen this 4th year and 5th year option. So I think it is also about really looking at the latent needs of the customer. No customer had actually suggested this, but yes, when we offered it, 50% customers opted for it. So I think the whole idea is, can you really design your programs which are centered around the needs of the customers? I think that is the most important thing. I don't think India, there is no dearth of demand, and people will continue to buy because they are in need of not only mobility, but also in terms of, because they see still car as a reflection of themselves. And it's also, it's also a symbol of your success in life, of you having really done something for yourself, you having arrived in life. And I think this is where, all the OEMs are trying to position their cars in the customers.
Indian auto industry has been suffering for the past couple of years, and right now we are going through COVID, and the consumer sentiment is down. Sir, what do you think is the way forward for the industry as a whole?
I think it's a very simple thing, that how you can really bring the customer focus in mind, how you can customize solutions keeping the customers in mind. For example, there could be some customers who don't want to own the asset, while they want personal mobility, but maybe they don't want to buy. So a subscription model is a very good option. So, like Hyundai launched a subscription model in 2019, and we are getting a very good response, because here a customer can take a vehicle for 1 month or for 1 year, and his rental or subscription price is much lower than that he would have paid to own the car. And then he can also change the car after a month or after a year, whatever the period is. So I think what we need to do is to really design some innovative new strategies, bring out new exciting products, bring out new technologies, keep the costs in check, and like I said, reach the customer in the most effective way, keeping the customer empathy in mind. I think probably with the car penetration being so low, we still have a lot of ground to cover as far as Indian Auto is concerned. I fully understand that these last couple of years have been very challenging, and now Corona has come. So there could be, in the short term, there could still be some kind of challenge. But as far as Hyundai is concerned, and as far as I keep on reading about other OEMs, I think they're all quite positive about the Indian auto industry in the next 3 to 5 years. The growth will definitely come back, and the car penetration should definitely go up, with the incomes going up and the infrastructure improving by the day.
So that was a great conversation. Thank you for talking to us, and all the best.
Thank you, Siddharth. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and all the best to both of you.